Hi,
Hello.
good morning or good afternoon from wherever you're joining us from today. I'm Louisa and I lead early stage startup programs at Google Cloud, and I'm joining you all today from a very sunny London.
And from an equally bright and sunny Warsaw, this is Timon, Go-to-Market Manager at Google for Startups.
For the past few months, Timon and I, along with a number of our startup facing teams, joined forces to build this program, and we're both so excited to officially welcome you to Startup School. We're going to take the next few minutes to tell you a little bit about the program, how it came about, and what you can expect from the next 6 weeks. Over to you, Timon.
Well, at their best, startups solve some of the world's most important problems with agility, innovative technology, and sheer determination, and Google is proud to help. So whether you're starting out, building your startup business, or scaling up to meet the needs of your customers, we want to connect you with the right people, products, and best practices to help you thrive and grow. We know how difficult it can be when you're just getting started. How to move forward with the right idea. How to be the most cost efficient when acquiring new customers. When and how to raise money. How to use products to automate and accelerate your productivity. There's so much to consider. And sometimes it can be confusing and lonely, especially at the beginning of this journey. And that's why we created Startup School.
Startup School is our global program of educational and inspirational sessions spanning a variety of topics designed to equip founders and their teams with the tools, solutions, and practical guidance that are really helpful as you're looking to grow your business. We've partnered with our product experts and former founders from across the globe to build this curriculum, which covers all of the topics that founders in your position might want some guidance and help on. More on that in a second. We really want to help you make the most of all of our Google products and solutions to achieve more with less, and we'll be diving deeper on everything from ads to SEO and, of course, AI. We also want to share with you our expertise on business growth and give you the opportunity to learn from our experts, to ask questions in real time, and to meet fellow founders in a similar position to yours. We've got a brilliant agenda lined up for you over the next 6 weeks. Let's take a quick look at what's coming up. This week is all about business growth. We wanted to kick things off strong, so today's first session after this one covers the 4 key risks to think about just as you're getting started. Then, tomorrow, we'll cover the principles of building an MVP so that you're ready to test your product with users. And on Thursday, you'll have an opportunity to learn the Google way of achieving your vision with a session on OKRs, objectives and key results. And then, right at the end of the 6 weeks, we'll end with practical tips on how to get investment ready and raise your first or next funding round.
On the topic of digital marketing, we want to show you a very practical application of key Google marketing products. In a 2-part series, we will take a close look at Google Analytics 4 and teach you about how to surface insights for your customers and build actionable reports. We will also help you get started with Google Ads by showing how to automatically produce and run highly effective campaigns. Lastly, we will do an interesting refresher on search engine optimization to help you ensure that potential customers find your startup. Yeah, that's very important. And lastly, our cloud sessions, which will all be delivered live by our superstar technical experts. We'll feature the latest products and solutions in the AI space, including, of course, the hot topic right now, generative AI. We want to show you how easy it can be to use our products into your existing tech stack and inspire you with new ideas that can quickly be implemented and that are going to help your startup to scale quicker. Sessions will cover all Google Cloud favorites: BigQuery, machine learning, AI, Firebase, and more. We can safely say you don't want to miss these.
Speaking of cloud, some of you are already members of our Google for Startup cloud program, but for those who aren't, there's plenty of support, including cloud and Firebase credits, and dedicated technical and business guidance available for all startups, regardless of your stage or funding status. We want to partner with you as you grow your business, and we know how important it is to have a great partner, especially as you're just getting started. You can find out more and apply to join the program at the link on the screen and that's being shared in the chat now.
And now, it's time for a little bit of housekeeping. We highly recommend watching Startup School sessions live, as you can interact with Googlers and each other using the chat. But don't worry if you're late or have to miss one, you will be able to watch it on demand whenever suits you best. We won't be sharing slides after each session, so another reason for you to try to join us live. To get the most out of the Startup School, We recommend attending as many as possible of those sessions to help you consider your business from every angle. But of course, you can also join only the sessions that look most interesting to you. Remember to add sessions to your calendar so you don't miss them. On that note, you are more than welcome to invite your co-founders and whole team to take part in it together. There's something here for everyone: CDOs, CEOs, CMOs, so get them involved too.
That's it from us. Now all that's left is for you to tune into the upcoming sessions, to learn, to be inspired, to meet fellow founders, and most of all, we hope you find your startup school experience valuable and meaningful. Any questions or problems along the way, you can find us at startupschool@google.com. Take care, and we'll see you very soon.
See you in Startup School.
Hi, friends. I'm Louis Nguyen, Head of Strategic Startup Growth and Community at Google Cloud. And I'm honored and excited to welcome you to the first of many sessions at Startup School and to start this journey with you. Now, I understand the passion that you feel about all the potential and excitement that comes with being an entrepreneur. Hold on to that conviction because it will sustain you through challenging times. But to get to this point, you probably moved quickly. And when you do that, there will inevitably be things that you put in the figure it out later pile. Well, friends, welcome to later. We're going to go through 4 types of risks that investors, customers, and co-founders are going to think about and press you on as you embark on this journey. Now, my goal is to help you do the work first so that you have the answers or the plan to minimize those risks. Now, I'm sure the thought has crossed your mind, who is this guy and why should I care what he has to say? I can run you through my resume, but when you boil it all down, I'm a founder just like you. Well, an ex-founder. And I've made it my mission to ask founders questions that I wish I was asked and relentlessly face gaps in business plans that I avoided when I was a founder. It takes a lot of courage to take the plunge, and I know this was true for me. But a side effect of mustering up that courage is that I didn't look at my business with a critical eye because I was afraid this thing that I set out to do would crumble if I did that. But I should have. And I'm going to ask you to do what I didn't. Friends, your startup is going to have to withstand questions and skepticism and confusion and pessimism from customers, investors, potential employees, maybe even your friends and family. I'm going to encourage you to embrace those pointed questions, test your assumptions, and make your ideas rock solid. Because in startup world, pressure makes diamonds or makes things fall apart. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, I'm going to be walking you through 4 startup risks that founders will struggle with on this journey. They are team, market, product, revenue, and go-to-market. Everything I'm going to go through, you can overcome, but you cannot fix what you don't know about. So let's start. Risk number 1, team risk. Early days in your journey, Team is going to be the most critical piece of the equation. Do you have the right team to do this? Do you have subject matter expertise? If you're launching the next fintech unicorn, do you have the knowledge to understand where the opportunities are? Do you know the products or technologies that the industry uses? Do you understand what it takes to get people to change the tools or the behaviors that they're used to? I'm not saying you can't be an industry outsider and then go in and disrupt that industry, but more often than not, it's going to be harder. And the probability that you build the wrong thing is also higher. Another thing to consider, do you have relationships in the industry? Are you able to email, text, chat, message, or even call somebody who can help make introductions or give you advice or guidance or help you continue to navigate the industry that you set out to fix? Do you have the capability to secure pilots, proof of concepts, or even just get in the room to have those meetings? All of these things are going to be critical resources that can make your journey smoother and increase your chances of success. Now, I don't want some of you to get nervous. Not every business is going to require that depth of industry knowledge. Many startups are started by people who are their own customers. Are you part of your customer base? Do you collect sneakers and understand the pain of collecting and selling and shipping them? Are you a parent that's worried about how they're going to pay for university for their children? Being a customer is a great place to start. So lean into that knowledge and understanding and all of the other things that you know about people just like you that are willing to pay to solve your problem. Now, the last piece of team is also important to think about. Can you execute, or have you done this before? Now, put yourself in the place of a customer or an investor. If you were writing that check, would you bet on the team that has already done this and is doing it again? Or do you bet on the person doing it for the first time? If it's your first time, that's okay. But your execution and communicating your progress becomes all the more important. Set your goals, consistently and relentlessly hit your goals, and then tell everybody that you hit your goals. Now, the second risk we're going to cover is market risk. And if you only take one thing away from my time with you today, please make sure it's this section. First, who is your customer and how many of them are there? Now, don't tell me about a problem. Tell me about a person. What do they do? How does this problem affect them? What is the pain? And then tell me if there are enough of them to build a business. Are there hundreds of companies, thousands or tens of millions of people? Are they the same in the Americas, Europe, Africa, Asia, Middle East? Ultimately, you want to understand, are you fishing in a barrel or are you fishing in the ocean? Are there enough for you to build a business? Next, I want you to tell me about the problem they have that you're trying to solve. How much time or money does it waste? 10 hours a week? $1,000 a month? How much risk or frustration does it create? If this data gets stolen, it's a €100,000 fine. If this manual process continues, we won't be able to keep up because people keep on quitting after doing it for 3 months. Those are all reasons for people to test out, try, and ultimately adopt your product. And then I want you to tell me what they do now. Step by step, what do they do right now that is so bothersome, so expensive, so frustrating? I travel for business. Cabs are hard to find, and illegal ones can be dangerous. I don't know how long I'm going to have to stand and wait before one happens to drive past me and doesn't have a passenger. It's cold, it's raining, and I don't want to stand outside to wave at the cab. I need to know where I'm going, and I can't waste time because I have a lot of meetings and I'm only here for a short while. I don't even know how much the ride is or how much it's going to cost me. I don't have cash to pay for it. I need to pay with a credit card. I need a receipt so I can file the expenses. And this happens to me all the time. So tell me a story about one person who represents your customer. How horrible things are now. How they would pay to fix this problem that happens to them regularly. Tell me about how you understand this problem and this customer so well that designing the solution and building the right product is crystal clear for you. If you get this right, you're going to be way ahead of the pack. All right. Risk number 3, product risk. Does your product address the customer problem? So we just went through that whole scenario. So what would a solution look like? Let's build a mobile app. You're going to connect to a driver that is verified with a known identity to ensure trust and safety. You can communicate with them. You can get a quote on how much the ride is going to cost. You can even pick the type of vehicle, luxury, XL, or economy. You'll know exactly how long you'll need to wait for the ride, and you can even do that from inside the warmth of your office, your hotel, your home. Credit card information is stored on the app, and payment happens seamlessly. And you get an automatic electronic receipt that you don't have to worry about losing. All you have to do is get out of the car, tap a few buttons, and you're on your way. So think about the problem, design the solution around it. Now, phase 2 of the product. Have you built it? Is someone using it? That's always going to be a question you're going to have to face. Now, the seductive thing about product ideas is that they're perfect. They're in your head. And your customers always love what you're building. But please be clear-eyed about this. It's not real until you put it in a customer's hands. It's not real until someone is loving it or hating it or wishes it did this thing that they need it to do. Or even better, they can't imagine their life without it. Build your product around a customer problem. Give it to the customer. Find out if it addresses their problem. Make it better. Give it back to them, and then do that whole cycle over and over again. But make sure that you try to progress towards building a product and putting it in a customer's hands. Now, once you get that settled, the next question is, how much or how often are they using it? Now, you can get most people to try things once, but have they made it part of their routine? If everyone who's ever tried your product only uses it once and then never uses it again, well, then you have a problem to overcome. Conversely, the more they use their product, the more obvious the value is to them. The more pained they will be when you take it away because they enjoy or appreciate or flat out need your product. So understand how much and how often your customers use your product, because that is an indicator that you're going in the right direction. All right, risk number 4, revenue and go-to-market. Now, for this next section, I'm going to make the assumption that you're building this startup so that you can provide for your family, your employees, and not only provide, but thrive, flourish. So let's dig into that. You've built your product. Now, the next big question is somebody paying you for your product? Now, this is a big one, folks. And I'll say this over and over because it's really important. It only counts if people swipe their credit cards. I'm going to say that again. It only counts if people swipe their credit cards. If no one is willing to pay you for your product, you don't have a product. You have a hypothesis and an experiment that's not supported by reality. So figure out how to build a product that people will pay for. Building off of that, what's your revenue model? How much revenue can you generate per customer? Now, this is going to tell you how many customers you need to survive and grow, or how many customers is it going to take to cover your costs. And since we're talking about costs, how much does it cost to deliver your product or service? Now, there's two kinds of costs I want you to consider. First, what does it cost for you to make and sell your product? Server costs, manufacturing costs, if it's a physical product, shipping, advertising. You'll need to understand all of these costs because your revenue model doesn't work if you lose money with every customer. If the price you have to charge to get someone to buy is less than the cost to make and deliver your product, you don't have a business. Also, keep in mind that there are costs that you can't or don't anticipate right now. And there needs to be sufficient margin to support changes in your cost structure. So understand that material costs go up. Advertising can get more expensive. Shipping is impacted by energy prices. Any unexpected cost can take you from profitable to drowning in debt. So make sure that you have enough margin to cover those unexpected costs. Now, the second part is a part that a lot of founders, myself included, forget to think about. What does it cost for your customer to start using your product? Do they have to pay employees to install and maintain it? Can they get employees to start using it? How much time or money does it get to get employees to switch and adopt a new tool? How much time or productivity will they lose? And is it even worth it? 10% improvement is not worth it if it will cost them 3 times that much in cost, lost productivity, employee satisfaction, and maintenance to switch. So it has to be worth it. And you have to understand how much better the end state is going to be for the customer and convince them that that is true. You also need to think about how you are going to acquire your customers and the cost to do that. Do you advertise for customers? Is the industry you're tackling word of mouth and relationship driven? Do you need warm introductions to start conversations? Each one of those approaches has their pros and cons. Some cost money, but the barrier to entry is much, much lower. Others are free, but require that you have the network and relationships to make them happen. So think about what it will take to get to your customers and what it will cost. Once you've accomplished that, the next step is incredibly important as well. How do you ensure your customers renew? What's better than a customer paying for a product? A customer that pays you for your product again and again and again. That's your ideal state. And it's concrete proof that you have a real business on your hands. Now, generally, keeping a customer over the long term is better than getting a new customer to replace the old ones that quit using your product. If you can get to the recurring renewal stage, life gets much easier. Now, this last point is a bit of a look ahead, but it's something I want you to think about. How many ways can you monetize products or services to the customers you already have? So if you take that mobile app idea that we talked about previously, what else could you do with the existing customers you have? Maybe you deliver food and items. Maybe they want other ways to get around, so you rent them bikes and scooters. Or maybe all of the businesses that advertise for delivery, you can charge them. Those are all opportunities to continue to get deeper into the wallet of those customers that you've already built, and is definitely a great opportunity to understand how else you can continue to grow the business that you've already created. All right. I know I've thrown a lot at you, and I understand if you're overwhelmed, but remember this. You don't have to have all the answers right now, or even today. The process here is to understand, think, plan, and then fix. You will figure this out. But your original plan or product idea or dream, it might need to evolve a little bit before you can address all of the gaps that we discussed today. I want to thank you all for your time and consideration. As I mentioned in the beginning, I'm honored to be part of this journey. I'm excited for all the rest of the great speakers and lecturers that we have coming to walk you through everything from building and testing an MVP to setting objectives and key results. And this other thing I keep on hearing about, I don't know, generative AI, heard it's kind of cool. And a ton of other great business and technical content. One last thing before I go. During Startup School, you are going to have the chance to build on GCP products. Now, you can get credits to cover that by applying for the Google for Startups Cloud program. Definitely take advantage of it. It's an opportunity to build testable versions of the product that you are working towards and knock down some of those risks that we went through today. I've been Louis Wynn from Google Cloud, wishing you the best, my friends. Thank you.